Welcome back to the deep dive. It is February 2026.
It is.
The holidays are barely in the rearview mirror. The year is officially underway. And, well, if you are anything like me right now, you're probably staring at your calendar with a mix of anticipation and just absolute exhaustion.
Oh, it's that classic February slump. Yeah, the adrenaline of the new year has worn off.
She's gone.
And the reality of the schedule has just, set in.
Exactly. And usually right about now is when we all start frantically Googling things like best beaches 2026 or, I don't know, top 10 cities to visit before I lose my mind.
You're right.
But looking at the stack of research we have today, it seems like that fundamental question, where should I go, is actually the wrong place to start this year.
It is. If you look at the data coming out of Expedia, Hilton, all the major travel groups for 2026, the script has completely flipped.
How?
We aren't asking where anymore. We are asking why.
The whycation. I saw this term in the notes.
It's a whycation, yeah.
And I have to say, I love a good portmanteau.
It's the buzzword of the year. And I know whycation sounds a bit like marketing speak, but the concept behind it is actually... it's quite profound.
Huh?
It suggests that the destination is becoming secondary to the intention. Travelers are feeling this specific kind of burnout from 2025, which was a chaotic year for many, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's fair.
And they are looking for travel that solves a specific internal problem.
So instead of saying, I want to see the Eiffel Tower, they're saying, I want to fix my insomnia.
Exactly. Or I want to stop making decisions for 3 days.
Okay, that one sounds good to me.
It's functional travel. It's travel as a remedy. And today, we are going to walk through the 8 specific trends that are defining this shift.
And we've got everything, right? From the economics of set jetting to, what was it, darkness therapy?
Darkness therapy, which is, yes, exactly as intense as it sounds.
And just to set the stage for you listening, we aren't just talking theory here. The guide we're analyzing has specific, actionable recommendations for every single one of these trends.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're looking for a place to book, we have the actual names and locations.
We do. We are going to cover the full spectrum of the 2026 travel landscape.
Let's start with the big one. Seems like the most commercially significant trend on the list.
Set jetting.
Set jetting.
Right. This is the intersection of streaming culture and tourism.
Now, we've seen this before. I mean, people went to New Zealand for Lord of the Rings 20 years ago.
Of course.
But the sources suggest this has evolved into something much bigger and, frankly, much more lucrative for 2026.
It has completely exploded. Expedia, I think they coined the term a few years back, but they are projecting it to be an $8 billion industry in the U.S. alone this year.
$8 billion.
And what's interesting is the demographic driver. You have 81% of Gen Z and millennial travelers admitting that they plan trips based entirely on what they see on a screen.
That number is just staggering. 81%. It almost makes traditional travel advertising obsolete.
It kind of does.
Why buy a billboard when you can just get a cameo in a hit Netflix show?
Exactly. And the nuance here is that it's not just about the scenery anymore. In the past, you'd go to New Zealand to look at the mountains because they were beautiful.
Right.
Now it's about mimicry. Travelers want to embody the lifestyle of the characters they watch. They want to step inside the screen.
Can you give us an example of what that looks like on the ground? Because I'm picturing people running around in costumes.
It's a little more subtle than that,
Yeah.
but not much. Take Los Angeles. LA has always been a tourist hub, right?
Sure.
But recently, the Netflix series Nobody Wants... this has created a microeconomy of specific locations. People aren't just going to Hollywood to see the Walk of Fame.
No.
They're going to the Highland Park Bowl because they want to recreate a specific double date scene from the show.
So they want to bowl in the exact same lane. They want the specific lighting for the photo.
They want the photo op, sure, but they also want the feeling of that scene. They are taking tango lessons at Soho Dance LA, just like the character Noah. They're going to Agrana Vintage Clothing to buy the outfits the characters wore. It's immersive theater, really. You're paying to step into the script.
It creates a sort of guaranteed experience, doesn't it? If you love the vibe of the show, you know you'll love the vibe of the trip.
That is the psychology behind it. It lowers the risk of a bad trip.
Yeah.
You know what it's going to feel like because you've already binge-watched it. And it gets very granular. There's a pasta-making experience at Osteria Mazza that's seen a spike in bookings.
Oh, I've heard of that place.
Specifically because people can book an Airbnb experience there to be the star of their own little cooking scene.
Now, if LA feels a bit too modern, the other side of this coin is the period drama effect.
The Jane Austen effect, to be specific.
Ah, okay.
2026 is her 250th birthday. Combine that with the new Pride and Prejudice adaptation on Netflix, and the UK is just bracing for a massive wave of literary tourism.
So this is Hampshire mostly?
Hampshire, Bath, the Derbyshire countryside. It's that classic Bridgerton vibe, but focused on Austen. It is less about bowling and more about promenading and high tea.
Right.
But the economic driver is identical. I saw this world. I want to live in this world.
Which brings us to a really interesting countertrend. If set jetting is about an addiction to screens, the second trend is the complete rejection of them, the read-away.
This is the pendulum swinging all the way back. We are seeing a massive surge in travelers who are explicitly booking trips to do nothing but read books.
Is this just people going to the beach with a Kindle? Or is it more structured than that?
Oh, it's much more structured. And strangely enough, it's being driven by social media.
Really?
Yeah. Book Talk, the reading community on TikTok, has over 72 million posts dedicated to book recommendations.
Wow.
It is a bit ironic that a short-form video platform is driving this deep analog behavior, but here we are.
I've seen this aesthetic, the cozy reading nook, the rain against the window, the giant cup of tea. It's a very specific mood.
Exactly. And the travel industry is capitalizing on that mood. Vrbo data shows that reviews mentioning reading or libraries have tripled. And 91% of travelers say they are actively seeking relaxation, and books are the vehicle for that.
So where do you go for a read-away? Because, I mean, theoretically, you can read anywhere. I can read on my couch.
You can. But if you want the capital E experience, you go to a page break retreat. There's one based in New York, sometimes in the city, sometimes up in the Adirondacks.
Okay, what do they do?
They curate the entire weekend around reading. They focus on underrepresented authors, and they actually pair the meals with the themes of the books.
So if you're reading a book set in 1920s Paris, you're eating coq au vin.
Right.
That has a whole sensory layer to the story.
It does. It makes reading a communal and sensory event. But my favorite recommendation in this category is a bit more posh. It's in Cambridge, England.
The University Arms Hotel.
Yes, the oldest hotel in Cambridge. They have introduced a service called the Book Butler.
Please tell me this is exactly what it sounds like.
It is. You have a dedicated staff member whose job it is to curate a selection of books for you based on your tastes.
Right.
And they deliver them to your room on a silver platter.
On a silver platter.
Literally.
You know, there is something deeply indulgent about that. It signals to your brain that reading isn't just a way to kill time. It is the event. It's the main course.
And that is the key. It gives you permission to ignore your email, ignore the sightseeing, and just sit there. Which segues perfectly into our third trend, because for many people, the problem isn't just a lack of time to read, it's decision fatigue.
The decision detox. This one really resonated with me when I was reading the brief. I think we underestimate how many micro decisions we make every day. What's for dinner? Do I answer this email? Which podcast should I listen to?
Right.
By the time you get to planning a vacation, the idea of choosing a hotel feels like climbing Everest.
It's paralysis. And the travel industry has realized that the ultimate luxury in 2026 isn't gold faucets. It's having someone else take the reins.
It's not having to choose.
No. Exactly. The decision detox is about booking a trip where you surrender all agency.
That sounds a bit scary, but also incredibly liberating.
It is liberating. You hand over your preferences, and an expert curates the gear, the meals, the itinerary. You just show up.
You don't have to think.
Not at all.
We have two very different recommendations for this, right?
Right.
One is high-end domestic, and one is shockingly affordable international.
Let's start with the affordable one. It's Thailand, specifically Phuket.
Which is known for being a bit chaotic, isn't it?
It can be, but if you go to the Banyan Tree Phuket, they offer a tailor-made itinerary service. Now, getting to Thailand is pricey, but once you are there,
the costs are low.
The on-the-ground costs are incredibly low. We are talking 5-star luxury for prices that feel like budget travel.
The source mentioned hotels for $30 a night and meals for under $5.
For the general area, yes. At the Banyan Tree specifically, you are paying for the service. You arrive, maybe you're burnt out, and they have already scheduled your aromatherapy, your smoothies, your body scrubs.
It's all just there for you.
Everything is delivered right to your villa.
Delivered to your villa is a beautiful phrase.
It removes the friction. You don't have to look at a menu and decide what you want. It just appears.
And for those who want to stay stateside,
Castle Hot Springs in Arizona. This is a historic property, all-inclusive, farm-to-table meals included. But the selling point here is the 24-hour access to the hot springs.
the 24-hour.
Yes. So if you wake up at 3 a.m. and can't sleep, you don't have to decide what to do.
You just go.
You just walk into the water. The recommendation is specifically for a midnight soak under the stars. Again, it's about removing the logistics so you can just be.
That leads us to the fourth trend, which feels like a cousin to the decision detox. It's called hospitality.
Or the quietication.
I gotta say, hospitality is a much better brand name.
It is. Hilton's 2026 report found that the #1 motivation for travel this year is to rest and recharge. Not adventure, not culture.
Just rest.
Rest. And this trend is all about dead zoning.
Define that for us. Because usually, a dead zone means my phone doesn't work and I get annoyed.
In 2026, a dead zone is a feature, not a bug.
Okay.
It means intentionally going to places to turn off your devices, even if there is service available. You are paying for the environment that encourages disconnection.
It's about auditory and digital silence.
Precisely. And for this, we are going to cowboy country.
Big Sky, Montana. I saw that. Expedia named it their destination of the year.
They did.
Why Big Sky?
It's the physical scale of it. Open valleys, massive skies, very low population density. It creates a kind of cowboy hospitality vibe that is just naturally slow.
Is there a specific spot or just the region in general?
The Lone Mountain Ranch is the standout. It's away from the main resort party scene. And here's the insider tip. Go in the summer.
Not for skiing.
Right. Big Sky is famous for skiing, but in the summer, the crowds vanish. The source describes the quiet in summer as deeper.
Deeper quiet. That implies it's not just lack of noise, but a kind of stillness.
Exactly. And that stillness allows for reflection, which brings us to a slightly more serious trend. Trend number 5, value-based exploration.
This feels like a direct response to the headlines we saw all through 2025 about over-tourism.
It is?
We all saw the photos of Venice charging entry fees, or locals in Barcelona protesting tourists.
The backlash against over-tourism is real, and it is changing behavior. Travelers are finally becoming self-conscious about their footprint. They don't want to be part of the problem.
So they're looking for secondary destinations.
Exactly. Places that are slightly to the left of the famous spot.
Right. Instead of Bali, where the infrastructure is groaning under the weight of visitors.
You go somewhere that actually wants and needs the tourism dollars, and where you can have a positive impact.
The spotlight here is on Trinidad.
Yes. Often overshadowed by Tobago or other Caribbean islands, but Trinidad checks every box for 2026. It has incredible biodiversity, eco-initiatives, music, dance.
And the food, I hear?
And amazing multicultural cuisine.
And it's accessible.
Surprisingly so. It's a 5-hour flight from NYC. No visa needed for U.S. citizens for short stays. But the key here is who you book with.
Right. You want to ensure the money stays in the local economy, not with some international conglomerate.
Exactly. There's an operator called Hadco Experiences. They're Trinidadian-owned. They run an Ecolux rainforest lodge and a hotel right on a turtle nesting beach.
A turtle nesting beach.
It's the definition of regenerative travel. You aren't just observing nature, your presence and your money are helping fund the conservation of the turtles.
He feels respectful, not exploitative.
That's the word. And connected to this idea of ethical travel is a massive demographic shift. Trend number 6, women-centered travel.
This is huge. A Skift study found that women now make 82% of all travel decisions.
82%.
That is, almost all of them.
Essentially, yes. Women are the planners. And for a long time, the industry treated women's travel as just girls' trip spa days.
Right.
But that is changing rapidly. We are seeing a rise in women-only tours that are about empowerment and breaking barriers.
Who is leading this charge?
Companies like Intrepid Travel and Natural Habitat Adventures. They are designing trips to places like Morocco, Jordan, and Turkey.
Oh, these aren't just sightseeing tours.
Not at all. Intrepid, for example, uses these tours to support women in male-dominated industries in those countries. In Turkey, they stay at a woman-owned hotel. They visit women-run nonprofits.
So it's a closed loop of women supporting women.
That's it. In Jordan, there's a company called Baraka Destinations, founded by a local female entrepreneur. They take you into local homes for basket weaving and cooking.
Wow.
It's intimate. It breaks down that barrier between tourist and local in a way that mass tourism never can.
Sounds much more meaningful than sitting on a tour bus listening to a canned script. Okay, we have 2 trends left, and they are both about slowing down, but in very different ways.
Wow.
Trend number 7, luxury train travel.
Choo-choo.
I knew you were going to do that. I felt it coming.
I had to. It's a classic. But seriously, trains are having a moment. It's what's old is new again. It appeals to the eco-conscious traveler because it's lower carbon than flying, but it also appeals to the slow travel trend.
But we aren't talking about a commuter train into the city with sticky floors.
No, we are talking glass-domed carriages, white tablecloth dining, tiered service. The Armstrong Collective runs a route through the Canadian Rockies and the U.S. Southwest that is spectacular.
Now, I saw a detail about this in the notes that confused me at first. The trains only travel during the day.
That is the unique selling point. Usually on long train trips, you sleep on the train and wake up in a new place.
Right, but you miss all the scenery.
You missed 8 hours of scenery. You missed the Alps or the Rockies because you were asleep. You're paying for the view, you should see the view.
True.
On these trips, the train stops at night, you sleep in a luxury hotel, then you get back on in the morning.
So the train is purely for viewing. You don't miss a single mountain peak.
Not one.
That is actually very smart. It positions the travel as the destination.
And they have a wellness add-on in Alberta called the Forest Fix.
Forest bathing.
Forest bathing and indigenous-led plant walks with Mohican trails. It grounds you in the land you're passing through, rather than just watching it fly by a window.
Okay, we have arrived at the final trend. Trend number 8. And I have to say, this one scares me a little. The out-of-the-box reboot.
This is the extreme end of the spectrum. Wellness travel is projected to hit $910 billion by 2030.
Wow.
But it's shifting from pampering to transformation. People don't just want a massage, they want to deconstruct their reality.
Soul-searching on steroids.
That's a good way to put it. Hawaii is a big hub for this. The Four Seasons Resort Oahu has a healer in residence. They run soulmate retreats designed to address PTSD or deep anxiety.
That sounds therapeutic, but then there's the cave.
The cave. This is the recommendation for the hardcore seeker. Sky Cave retreats in Oregon.
Explain this to me, because the notes say darkness therapy.
It is exactly that. You go into a specially designed facility, essentially a comfortable cave or room, and you spend multiple days in total absolute darkness. Alone. No light, no phone, no visual stimulation whatsoever.
I feel like my brain would start inventing things. I would hallucinate.
Many people do. It's a complete sensory reset. The theory is that by removing all external input, you are forced to confront your internal landscape.
It's not relaxing.
It is not relaxing in the traditional sense. It is work. It is deep psychological work.
It's the ultimate whycation. If your why is, I need to completely reboot my consciousness, then the dark cave is the answer.
It puts the decision detox in perspective, doesn't it? Choosing a hotel doesn't seem so hard when the alternative is sitting in the dark for 72 hours.
It really shows the range of what we're dealing with in 2026. We've gone from bowling in Los Angeles to mimic a Netflix show, all the way to sensory deprivation in Oregon.
It seems disjointed, but there is a common thread.
What's that?
Whether it's the book butler serving you on a silver platter, or the Silent Valley in Montana, or the dark cave, it is all about preservation.
Preservation of peace.
Peace, mental health, energy. People are realizing that the world is noisy and demanding. Their travel choices are about building a fortress around their well-being, even just for a week.
It's not about the Instagram photo anymore.
No, it's about how you feel when you unlock your front door and come home. Did the trip deplete you, or did it restore you?
That is the metric for 2026. I have to say, out of all of these, I think I'm booking the book butler. I like the idea of being served. What about you?
I am tempted by the hospitality in Montana. The idea of deep quiet sounds very appealing right now.
I bet. Well, listener, we want to leave you with a thought. We started this deep dive with the concept of the whycation.
Right. So here's the challenge for you. If you completely removed the where from your travel planning, if you didn't care about the destination at all and only focus on the why, where would you actually end up?
Would it be a beach, a bustling city, or maybe just a quiet room with the lights off? Something to think about as you plan your 2026 adventures.
Travel well, everyone.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.